The untold truth about Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Now, at the time of this recording, it is Thursday, February 20th, and we pretty much going to have episode 19 of Dragon Ball Daima come out tomorrow. So, at this time, right now, we're still waiting for the conclusion of Dragon Ball Daima to get a little bit more information. But right now, it is speculating that pretty much we're going to get Super Saiyan 4 return in episode 19. That's a lot of speculation that's been going on online about this and rumors. But in this video, we're going to talk about the truth, untold truth of Super Saiyan 4. And the thing about Super Saiyan 4 and with Daima and Dragon Ball GT, we have a lot of people right now who are stating that this is just a pure magic-based transformation in Dragon Ball Daima, that Goku could pretty much not achieve this form without magic. And I don't think that's the case at all. And the reason why, there's a lot of different clues, and even Akil in his interview, there's also a part 2 of that interview that has come out where he did another interview and kind of said some of the same things from the first one, but a little bit more information. But if you go back to the first interview and with them talking about the whole conception of Dragon Ball Daima, with all the clues that's being expressed in that interview and also in Dragon Ball Daima and as a whole of what a Dragon Ball Daima is supposed to be, because Dragon Ball Daima is supposed to introduce people back into the world of Dragon Ball, and they're taking everything of Dragon Ball and putting it in Dragon Ball Daima for people who haven't watched the show and not really a fan of Dragon Ball, and introduce them to show them what Dragon Ball really is, which is adventure, action, transformations, everything. And they put bits and pieces of each series, so when people decide to go back and rewatch more Dragon Ball after watching Dragon Ball Daima, they'll kind of have an idea of what they're getting into. And as they watch each series, they'll see pieces of Dragon Ball Daima in each series that they pretty much took to create Dragon Ball Daima. So it's like almost like a puzzle that Dragon Ball Daima is putting everything together. Because Akil stated in an interview that it was not ready to try to create anything new, but really just uncover all the things that's already there in Dragon Ball world. And when we talk to Super Saiyan 4, that Super Saiyan 4 is something that was created in Dragon Ball GT, which is the prime inspiration of Dragon Ball Daima. They didn't say this was a inspiration of Dragon Ball Z, or Heroes or any of that. They said Dragon Ball GT specifically. So they really wanted to make something which was inspired by Dragon Ball GT because of all the compelling things that happen in Dragon Ball GT, and they wanted to create something compelling but different. But with that being said, Super Saiyan 4, we're going to see some things about Dragon Ball GT in Super Saiyan 4 from Dragon Ball Daima. Of course, the look is slightly different, the colorings are different. Goku has, red hair instead of his traditional black hair from Dragon Ball GT, and his eyes are red, also having a connection similar to Super Saiyan God, which is the redhead form. But that glow around it is also having, a reminder of that UI Ultra Instinct from Dragon Ball Super. So these are all different types of clues. But when we look at the things that's already uncovered about Super Saiyan 4 and what was spoken in different, data books and in series and all these other things in interviews, Super Saiyan 4 was supposed to represent the peak level of Saiyan power. At this point, people just saying it's just that primal power, but it's more to it than just primal. It's more like conquering that primal, because in Dragon Ball GT, Goku had to grow his tail back and turn into a golden grade 8 and harness that power and mutate to become a form where he's in full control now, mastering his inner Saiyan. That Uzaru was always represented as the inner Saiyan power and strength. We got Super Saiyan, of course, later on in the Namek Saga, which was supposed to represent the legendary form of reaching that top power of a Saiyan. But as transformations begin to grow throughout the series and different mutations in Dragon Ball GT, we get Super Saiyan 4, who was supposed to represent the ultimate form. And even in certain interviews and datas which spoke on Super Saiyan 4, it was to be bringing that untapped potential, like all potential of that person, pretty much to the forefront. So it's like the peak level, almost like a ultimate form, like Gohan, but different. This time it's the everything of a Saiyan that's pulling all that full potential to the forefront. But that doesn't mean that you're pulling all your power. That means there's still limits that could be broken. Like, even if you got Dragon Ball Heroes, which had Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4. Now, the thing to this is that in Dragon Ball Daima, we get Neville, who uses magical abilities to bring out this new transformation in Goku. But a lot of people are thinking it's just magic based. And I just did a video on this about speaking on Neville's magic. And the clues to this is that what Neville can actually do is probably bring the peak performance of an object or a person or anything that's probably organic or inorganic. Like, what he did with the Dragon Balls in episode 1 of Dragon Ball Daima, where he was able to skip the whole year waiting period of the Dragon Balls to have them back renewed so they can use it. And then later on, you see them enhance the Tamagami, which we thought just because he was the creator of the Tamagamis, that was the reason for this. But now he's able to bring Goku to his peak power at this time, which will be Super Saiyan 4. And if you go back to the interview of Kyoyoku that just came out about Dragon Ball Daima, he's stating that it's not about giving any new transformation or new forms, it's about uncovering what's already there. And pretty much never uncover that inner power within Goku. But for Goku to reach this power doesn't mean that it's only through magic that he will only be able to reach this Super Saiyan 4 transformation. He will probably have to tap into his Saiyan, either he have to train or different ways. Now, I feel like even though Dragon Ball Daima and Dragon Ball GT Super Saiyan 4 are different, but they're both still Super Saiyan 4 and still very similar. But the only difference is that Dragon Ball GT Super Saiyan 4 was able to break the power of a wish of Shenron and to put Goku as ultimate potential. Goku was transformed back into an adult and not as a child. Now, of course, this is all marketing in Dragon Ball Daima, but it's a possibility that stated that Goku may be even more powerful if the wish comes through, where he becomes back to an adult and we get an adult version of Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball Daima with the new colors. That's all big possibilities as well. But to be at peak power, you have to be in your prime self. So by Goku still being a child, he's not really at that full, I would say full power in his prime of his top potential. And even then you could kind of see in Dragon Ball Daima's version of Super Saiyan 4, he's very more primal. He's running on, all fours and fighting more wildly compared to Super Saiyan 4 and Dragon Ball GT, who's a little bit more in still traditional humanoid form. They haven't changed into like a more, animalistic type of behavior when it comes to the Super Saiyan 4 in a sense. But he still is giving that raw power in Super Saiyan 4. So there is some differences, and this can all still be clues to show that Goku probably didn't master the Super Saiyan 4 that Neva brought out of him, and it still wasn't really a full-on, I'll say Goku's full power yet. He haven't mastered that form yet. Compared to Dragon Ball GT, which I still feel like Goku didn't even master his Super Saiyan 4 because of how quick Dragon Ball GT was. There wasn't really no time for having Goku to have a training arc to really train. He just got power boosts throughout the series. So just imagine Goku actually trains with his Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball GT as an adult as well to experience his actual full power. That would be something to see. So when it goes back to this looking at all the little hidden features, there's still more to come when they're looking at Super Saiyan 4 and Dragon Ball Daima and the future of this transformation, if it will return in the later episodes or even in the future after Dragon Ball Daima is completed later on in Super or whatever they decide to do after with the series. So there's all still big possibilities and more information to come about this, which we will be coming back to revitalize this video with more information when it comes to that. But ultimately, when we're looking at Dragon Ball Daima, there still is a connection to Dragon Ball GT Super Saiyan 4 due to its conception is being created through that. but just more with Toriyama's involvement as well. But at the same time, they're still trying to keep certain core essence and things as clues when it comes to these transformations. So either way, they're different, but they're also still connected as still being Super Saiyan 4. So certain things may still remain the same when it comes to comparing these different transformations. And these are just unhidden truths that were kind of expressed as clues, and didn't want to outright just say certain things, but they kind of gave clues to let you know, like, hey, they're still taking ideas from these different things, even though they're supposed to be like a new transformation or a new version. There's still going to be ties to the original of whatever they inspired from. So that's it for this video. Like I said, I have more videos coming on, some information that was left off in this video, because I have another video talking about Dragon Ball GT and talking about the truth of Super Saiyan 4 as well. So it's a lot more videos that's going to be coming out where I had to save some of the information for those videos. So definitely stay tuned for those videos, because it's going to be like a masterpiece connecting to this video, because there's still a lot of information that was left off, and some information from prior videos that I just did about the new Super Saiyan 4 that we see in Dragon Ball Daima as well, and its connections to Dragon Ball GT as well. So there's still a lot more videos coming. You should watch all of them, because they're all going to be connected and giving you all the information you need to know when it comes to Dragon Ball Daima Super Saiyan 4 and Dragon Ball GT Super Saiyan 4, and what's going to be the future and how powerful. All these different things is going to be answered in these videos. And as we get more information, we're going to get a lot more videos coming out to explain even more deeper. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to drop a like, hit the notification bell, send some donations to the channel so we can continue making bigger and better videos, because we got a lot more big videos coming out and a lot more information. So just stay tuned for the channel.